This life as a state rep is really wonderful because there's such a diversity of issues that you get to touch and be involved in and live with and understand and influence. Some of those issues are Cape Cod based, and it's working with all of you. You know, as I look around the room, I say, oh yes, I've worked on this project with that person, and worked on that project with that person, and I've got an idea for what we're going to do together next month when we're working on something else. But my work also obviously brings me to Boston. And it's not just going to the State House to vote, but it's going to the State House to build coalitions in order to be a more effective legislator for you. And I feel that I've done that with a fair degree of success. For example, you might wonder, gee, what does the rep from North Adams, Dan Bosley, have in common with, as they refer to me up there, the gentle lady from Provincetown? Well, I'll tell you what we share in common. We share an interest in regional transit authorities. In other words, like the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, the Flex Bus. They have the Berkshire County Regional Transit Authority there. He is chair of the RTA caucus, and it was he who nominated me to become the vice chair of that RTA caucus just a couple of months ago, and I'm just so pleased and honored to serve with Dan in that capacity. And then you might wonder, what would Sarah have in common with the representative from Agawam? And you know, Agawam, aside from Cape Cod, is probably the other most easily recognizable town on the map of Massachusetts, because it's that little piece that kind of cuts down into Connecticut, you know, it keeps it from being a straight line there. Well, Rosemary Sandlin and I together filed an amendment to the education reform bill that would in effect insulate regional school transportation from mid-year draconian cuts. Oh, yeah. You know, Cleon Turner has been a great leader and is chair of the Regional School Caucus, I should say, and the transportation piece is a part of that. And I was just so pleased to be able to work with Rosemary, and it was a great thing because we filed this amendment. I said, all right, you look west and gather supporters, and I'm going to look east and gather supporters. And that's what we did, and Cleon will tell you, we kind of hashed the whole thing out on the floor of the House, working with one of the members of the Speaker's leadership team. And at the end of the day, it was in the House version, and then Rob O'Leary carried the water, and it was in the Senate version as well. And this is a big, big thing. It will help school committees and municipalities budget with greater certainty than they ever have been able to before. And then you might wonder, what would Sarah have in common with Don Humison from Westfield and Vinnie DiMacedo from Plymouth, two Republicans? What could she have in common with them? Well, I'll tell you what I have in common with them. We are all three members of the Aviation Caucus. And working with them, we have fought successfully to keep in place the aviation tax credits that makes Chatham Airport more robust, Provincetown Airport more robust, and has enabled Dan Wolf and Cape Air to purchase new equipment, has given him an incentive to keep his repair and whole mechanics facility here in Hyannis because of this tax credit. They're allowed to waive the sales tax on airplane parts and airplane purchases. So working with these two Republicans, I'll never forget the debate in the House. It was bipartisan, it was from one end of the state to the other, but this is how I get things done. Building coalitions, reaching out, finding common ground, and also not being afraid to maybe fight like cats and dogs with somebody on one issue, but then standing with them shoulder to shoulder on issues that we share in common. So that's another reason I'm so excited about running for re-election. All right, and now here's the truth of everything. We have a campaign ahead of us, and a lot of work to do between now and the 2nd of November. I do have an opponent. I take him, as I do all opponents, very seriously. I have a good friend who told me once, he said, Sarah, you know, there's only two ways you can run. You can run unopposed, or you can run scared. Well, I think there's a third way. You can run scared and smart. And that's what I'm asking all of you to help me do, to run smart and to run a vigorous campaign. You know, there's many things you can do. There were those volunteer sign-up sheets. I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to do that. We're happy if people can give 5 minutes, 5 days, Or if you're free for the next 5 months, we'll grab that as well. So whatever you can do. There's bumper stickers around here. Don't go home, that's right. We'll tell Ed we're renting out this will be the headquarters, we'll just rent out upstairs. Put a bumper sticker on your car. Visibility is so important. And I know some people say, oh, I don't like putting bumper stickers on my car and this, that, and the other thing. I'll tell you, the bumper stickers we've bought, they're pretty good quality. So on November 3rd, after Election Day, after you've gotten up and recovered from what I hope will be and know will be a great celebration, you can peel that bumper sticker off and it's not going to make a mess. So put one on, it'll all be good. Sign up to put a yard sign in your yard. And if you live on one of the highways and byways, I know there are parts of Eastham where there are dirt roads, and you say, nobody goes by my house. Okay, then maybe you don't want to put a yard sign there. But you know what? Go through your Rolodex. Go through your address book. Go through your BlackBerry or your iPhone or whatever you might have, and look to see what friends of yours do live along a major thoroughfare. And call them up and say, you know what, I'm supporting Sarah Peake. We need to make sure she gets reelected. When they're ready to put yard signs out, can I give them your name and address so that they can come and plant one in your yard? Because again, visibility is so critically important. You know, there's probably 50 different ways that you can help. And I know that working together, I mean, look around this room. What a great and diverse group. It is so humbling to me, but it's so invigorating for me also to see all of you there. And I just know that working together, working smart, and working hard, we are going to have a big victory to celebrate on November 2nd.